Now this is the story of Jesus' arrest from Mark chapter 14, 32 through 72. Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane with his disciples. He told them to sit and he was going to go and pray. He took Peter, James, and John with him. He was sorrowful even to the point of dying, and he went on a little bit further. He fell on his knees and he cried out, "Abba, Father, nothing is impossible with you. Take this cup from me, yet not my will, but your will be done." And then he returned to his disciples, only to find them sleeping. And he said, "Could you not keep watch 1 hour?" He told them to watch and pray that they didn't fall into temptation, that the spirit was willing, but that the body was weak. He went back and he prayed the same thing. He returned, found them sleeping. He returned a third time, and he said, "Are you still sleeping? Now is the hour. The Son of Man is being betrayed. Here comes my betrayer." And Judas was leading a crowd. The crowd was carrying clubs and swords, and Judas had made it an arrangement that the one that he would kiss is the one they should arrest. So Judas approached Jesus, kissed him, and they seized Jesus. He approached Jesus saying, "Rabbi," and they seized Jesus. And then one of Jesus' disciples cut off the ear of the servant of the high priest, and Jesus said, "Am I leading a rebellion that you come at me with swords and clubs? I was teaching in the temple courts daily, and you did not arrest me. But now the scriptures must be fulfilled." And all Jesus' disciples deserted him, including a young man who was wearing a linen garment, who fled naked when Jesus was seized. Now they took Jesus to the high priest, and there all the chief priests and the teachers of the law and the elders gathered together. Now Peter, he had followed at a distance, and he had gone into the courtyard of the house of the high priest, and he sat by the fire with the guards. Now the chief priests and the Sanhedrin, they were looking for evidence to kill Jesus, and many testified falsely against Jesus. Some testified falsely, saying that Jesus had said, "I will destroy this temple in 3 days. I will destroy this man-made temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. I will rebuild it, but not with human hands." Now, even these testimonies did not agree, and the high priest said, "What do you have to say about these accusations, about this testimony against you?" And Jesus said nothing. Then the high priest said, "Are you the Christ?" And Jesus said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Man at the right hand of God and coming in the clouds of heaven." And the high priest tore his robes and said, "You have heard the testimony." They took Jesus, they spit on him, they condemned him as being worthy of death, they blindfolded him and they hit him, and they said, "Prophesy," and the guards beat him. Now the servant girl of the high priest saw Peter by the fire, and she said, "You were with Jesus." And Peter denied it, saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." A little later, she saw Peter again, and she said, "You are one of them." And Peter again denied it. Then a little bit later, some others that were with Peter, they said, "You are one of them. You are a Galilean." And Peter called down curses, and he swore, "I don't know the man that you're talking about." And then the rooster crowed. And Peter remembered what Jesus said, "You will disown me 3 times before the rooster crows twice." And Peter broke down and he wept bitterly. And this is the story of Jesus' arrest from Mark chapter 14.